You call us the blue ones, the luminous ones. We come from the stars. Sometimes you call us the shining ones because our light is so bright. We are making contact with you now. We will be coming at a very large scale. We might appear in certain ways for you. We're making contact to all of you listening now so that you can be a vessel of an opening to receive our frequencies. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday and welcome. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Kelly Kolodney. I'm kind of called the Angel Lady because I channel the angel Raphael and other beings. To be honest, I've been getting an incredibly strong download during the night last night and today, kind of feeling a little out of it. These galactic energies and beings are coming in really intensely, so they may come in today in the channeling. So we'll see how that is. I wanted to just give you guys an overview energetically of where we are. As you know, most of you are aware that I downloaded 55 what we call light codes a few years ago. And so far we have moved through 25 of them. And each one is very unique and powerful and potent, and each one has its purpose in activating our light body and supporting us in releasing dense or energy so that we can come into harmonization and union with our divine self and assist us on our ascension process. The theme of the energies that we were working with last year had a lot to do with healing and transmuting heavy energies, coming into our power, working with self-worth, self-love, releasing trauma, and all of that. And then this year, the energy was totally different, right? This is the year of completion. It is the coming to the end of a cycle. And we started off the year with Lakshmi and abundance and opening up the energy to really become the magnet of instant creation and manifestation. And then that led us into the end of March. And I don't know about you guys, but the end of March and all of March was pretty wild and intense. And we were working then with the choice point light code. And this is the choice point light code right here. It's a door, a choice that we had as a collective to decide kind of what timeline we were going to be aligning with, what frequency we were going to be holding, and where that was going to be taking us. And so after that transmission and the energies and that light code that we did as a community, we were kind of asked to be in this spaciousness of a restful period, a gestation period, a preparation period for what was to come. And so as we're in that space, what they're showing me is that we're going to be receiving a lot of support in the next 9 months. Support from all different energetic beings to help us really be prepared for what's coming into the planet so that we can ride it with the most grace and ease and sweetness and love as possible. And so what that has led to is this, which is called the Galactic White Horse. You probably can't quite see this. And you're like, what the heck is the Galactic White Horse? Well, the white horses were in my bedroom last night. They kind of galloped in and they took me off into a place that I've never visited before that was quite magical and mystical. But what it is, and we're going to ask them, and I want to kind of tune into their frequency today because they're an energy that I haven't fully embodied or channeled before. But what they have been showing me is that they're preparing us for contact with the galactic beings, with our star sisters and our star brothers, to receive these very, very high frequencies that are going to have a profound effect on our biology and our ability to move into a state of adaptation to the world as it is shifting and changing, and we're adapting to it as well. So when we connect with the Galactic White Light Horse code, what we're going to be doing is making contact with our star family. So the stars are calling you right now, and you're feeling a need to attune to the heavenly celestial realms and to those higher frequencies as the veil is so thin, and attune to our ancestors and start to prepare yourself for a welcoming home by these galactic guardians. They're bringing in all kinds of codes for us. They call them the guardian codes, to really activate our light body at a whole new level. So that light code, I will be traveling and leaving in a couple weeks to go prepare for it out west and tune into the vibration and bring it back for all of you. And it will begin on June 2nd. So if you're feeling called to that frequency, you can be in the community, register, and we'll see you at that. All right, so that's kind of a pulse of where we are energetically right now. I'm going to channel and bring in the angel Raphael and whoever else wants to come in, going to answer questions. And we have a small group today, but if you haven't heard me channel before, briefly, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to rock back and forth. My hands are going to move all over the place. I'm going to say hello, and Casey's going to say hello back, and then we will begin. Okay. Mm. Mm. Ow, hello.
Hello,
Hello, hello, hello.
hello.
We are very delighted to be here and to attune to all of you and your energies and frequencies from the angelic realm, and are very conscious and aware of these beings that are coming in very rapidly and which are wanting to attune to all of you in this now moment and your frequencies. Although we are not sure that this vessel can integrate these vibrations fully and completely, we will interpret and begin to harmonize our energy with these vibrations in order to bring in the messages that are wanting to be sent to all of you at this time. With that, we are inviting you to take in a nice deep breath, breathing all the way in and letting go. Bringing your hand to your heart, opening your heart and saying, I love you. And as you are doing that, these beings are here. We will begin to invite you to close your eyes, allowing your eyes to become heavier and heavier and to drop down into the spaciousness of where you are, going all the way into the core of Mother Earth, feeling her beating heart and attuning to her vibration as she is holding you, embracing you, in which you are feeling deeply safe and protected, loved and cared for. As you are tuning to this vibration, these energies that are here, would perhaps like to speak for a moment. We are tuning to what name they are giving themselves today. They are very tall and luminous beings. They come from star systems in which have not even been named on your map of understanding. They are a merging of energies between what might be called the Noggle energy, and the tonal vibration, meaning the energy of absolutely nothingness, and the sound of where creation is born from. They are very kind and benevolent beings, and they come as a large body of energy. They are attuned to you and to your frequency, and they come with source codes of deep remembering. They are here because they are approaching your planet at a rapid pace. You shall perceive their approach as outside of yourself, and yet they are also approaching from inside. When you feel them approaching in an internal way, you might feel an energy in your body or a need to cry or to cleanse or to heal or to release. For their energy is of such a high frequency that as it approaches your planet and approaches you on a biological level, anything that is dense and no longer serving you cannot remain in the presence of this high frequency. This energy had come before to your planet, and when it did so, you might think of it like it impregnating its source life energy on your planet as it became encased in matter and form. And it is now waking up inside of everything, meaning inside of you, inside the elements of water and fire and wind and soil. It is also awakening in the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the crystal kingdom, and all living organisms. It is approaching at a very fast rate. And as it does so, it will shake up any and all things that are not in alignment with its light. You might even want to perceive these energies as the shining ones. They are beautiful frequencies and have traversed and attuned to your planet before. They are responsible for the revealing and the awakening of places all around your globe that you will begin to see. You will have new innovations and discoveries, and this will be exciting as it will challenge your linear sequence of history and time, your perception of evolution as a whole, and all things in which old paradigms, ways of perception based in inequality and separation will start to crumble and begin to dissolve as the approach of this vibration comes closer. It is approaching as a body of energy. It is approaching as a frequency, and it is coming rapidly. Sometimes you attune to it as light itself, but it is more than this. It is a fully awakened state of consciousness through dimensions in which cannot even be named in your language. Its vibration is like a laser of light, and that laser begins to bring its attention and focus specifically on geographical places and locations where the revealing or uncovering of energies in which it is attuned to that can facilitate and be a conduit for its information and vibration will be coming online or rediscovered. This will be happening not only at sacred sites and places inside your ocean, inside the biological formation of all living things, but most importantly, on many levels inside of you. In some ways, you might feel this occurring already, like an alarm going off, an awakening happening, a quickening accelerating, and a wondering. This may begin to create symptoms inside your body or a deep need to sleep or to commune with certain other energies and frequencies. This process will continue to accelerate. We will take a moment and see if we can bring their vibration through for you before answering as we understand questions that you have for us. We have no name. You call us the blue ones, the luminous ones. We come from the stars. Sometimes you call us the shining ones because our light is so bright. We are making contact with you now. We will be coming at a very large scale. We might appear in certain ways for you. We're making contact to all of you listening now so that you can be a vessel of an opening to receive our frequencies. Your planet is now ready as you have completed one aspect of your cycle and opened a pathway and a doorway now to a new way of being. As we approach you, we are you. We are the part of you that you have forgotten about because you feel separate from us, although there is still a portion of you fully awake inside of us. We are nestled within one another and cannot nor ever be separated from you, for we are the same. However, we operate in another dimension in a conscious state that is very different from where you are. There is a different frequency here in our homeland, and it is that this vibration is being carried through the cosmos to where you are, and it is awakening everywhere, and you are beginning to communicate with it. We have been communicating with your animals and those in the seas and your children who can hear us. But many of you still in form encased in matter of your own identity haven't been able to fully feel or hear our presence. We are a collective of energy that is from origin and source itself. We are not far from that original frequency and in a dimension that cannot be found from your linear way of perception. We will come and make contact in whatever way you can easily receive us, in whatever story allows you to be receptive to our light. As we do so, we must restore around your planet specific places. You might think of these as stations or sort. These are places in which we have entrance points and we can use them to facilitate energies moving around your planet for you to feel our vibration. It is the merging of spirit and matter, for you have always been the bridge between the two, but a larger portion of your spirit frequency is now coming online. And as it does so, it will change the form of matter in your body or your biology. And you, for the first time, and the first time ever in all of the magnitude of the unfolding of experience, will have the opportunity to be a divine witness to this evolutionary process on a scale that cannot be quantified. We love you and are asking you to invite us into your hearts. This will begin to prepare you for our contact with you, as this is a pulsation of contact, much like throwing a pebble into a pond that is the first wave. It might hit you in your heart as you feel our frequencies, and it will start to ripple out into the consciousness, creating waves of light across your globe. We are approaching rapidly. And so just be open to our connection and communication, and also be aware of anything that may come as a distraction that may be an illusion in which you think it is us, but it is not us at all. For we only come with the residence of purity and of peace to bring you back into union with your own self, which is a part of us. We will not bring anything that would cause fear or distraction, suffering or pain to you. And so if something approaches you in that light, it is not us, but we are here and we love you. Know that we are approaching rapidly and allow yourself to receive these energies. You might feel tingling in your body, or sensations or changes, or a greater need to be in communion with nature. We come as a fluid energy. This fluid that we carry is filled with light, and it is awakening in everything. And it is that we are communicating to you through everything. You can communicate to us through and with the animals. You can communicate to and through us with the plant kingdom, with the water, with the light, with the soil. Notice our frequency. Pay attention to the shimmering of our light coming off the plants that you eat, radiating from the trees, shining on you from your sun, falling on you from the droplets of rain that come upon you. Open to this and know we are here. We will be coming in droves, galloping toward you on the galactic horse as you ride with us into the celestial realms and home and into the stars, where councils of energy and beings of light and families in which you have been distant from in your full remembering will fully embrace you. A sense of coming home, a place in which you can rest in the space of our love, in which you will receive so much and a flood of memories, information, gifts, understanding will flood your entire body and system, and things in which you have thought in the programming of your mind were not possible will all of a sudden become not only possible but an everyday experience. As we approach you, what you will begin to feel and know will be unlike anything you have experienced before. Remain open to us. Really feel the receptivity. And remember that as we approach you, you and I are the same. You had come here in this form, but it is a small percentage of you that remains tethered to the earth in this way, in a sense of separation. And a larger portion is fully conscious and aware of our presence. And yet, this other piece now is also awakening to that knowing. And then you become an embodiment of our presence as a whole, in which you will become merged with the galactic body. For not only is your own individual light body turning on, your biology awakening, your DNA releasing and opening itself, but you as a collective begin to merge with the body of our vibration. And as this happens, you become a galactic body of wholeness in which all information, teachings, wisdom, knowledge, frequencies, and love are all flooding your system at a rate unknown to you at this time.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
We shall return to your original format of what it is you're wanting to talk about.
All right, thank you so much, Raphael. That was a powerful transmission. And I would just like to ask before we continue that there's been a lot of intense energy, at least today. I know Kelly has been feeling it and I have been feeling it. Does this have to do with these blue beings coming, making contact with us today? Is that what everybody is feeling, or is it there's something else?
You are moving very rapidly through the photon belt, and the attunement to these vibrations are affecting you on a biological level, which may feel and create a sensation of heaviness or drowsiness or disorientation. This is very normal and is the attunement to these galactic energies of a very high frequency that are approaching your planet very rapidly and will be coming into contact with all of you in different ways, depending upon which timeline you are operating in.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Raphael. I'm going to open it up to everybody else. We have beautiful people with beautiful questions. So we're going to go with Heather first. Hi, Heather.
Hi, thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
hello,
Oh,
hello.
hello, hello. So I'm wondering, just kind of following what Casey was just sharing, what can we do from a physical perspective to kind of manage through this time for those of us that are feeling a lot of physical symptoms? I'm guessing nature is going to be one thing, high vibrational foods, water, anything else we can do to kind of get through the day. Thank you.
Ah, well, you already know what to do, but also when you are speaking of a high vibrational food, the absence of food itself will also be very beneficial at this time because as you will be moving through this process and this change, you will be needing less and less food. And the less food that you have, the more you'll be able to assimilate the energies and the vibration that is coming in. We also encourage you to lay on the ground flat on your back, or then, if possible, to turn over with your heart, connecting with the earth. Because what will happen is that as this collective energy that you are all feeling approaches your planet as a whole, when it merges with the inner earth, there will be an explosive energy of light that you will be felt like a wave all across your globe. And so, if you can lay facing flat on the earth with your heart on the land, and begin to create a connection between your heart, the beating of your heart, and the beating of the earth, and bring resonance and harmonization between these two hearts, and then begin to, if possible, turn over and bring connection between the galactic core and the beating heart of the universe, so that you become the bridge of energy, the conduit between the celestial spiritual frequencies and the more earthly bound matter vibrations. This will deeply support you in integrating the energies, because not only are they flooding in from what your perception is outside of self from higher dimensions and galactic sources as they are making contact and approaching your planet, but they are also bubbling and resurfacing from deep inside the inner earth. There will be many discoveries about what is occurring inside your earth that you have not understood to date, that will be so revolutionary that it will be as big of a surprise as it was to others when they discovered that the earth was round. And there will be understanding of what is occurring in the life forms and the energies in the inner core of the earth itself and its presence and the primordial waters that are consciously making contact at this time with you. And so attuning in this way to the beating heart and the symmetry between that. The same is to make contact with one another, to attune to each other's vibrations, especially those in your around you or in your household to sit in front of one another, to hold hands, to look into the eyes, to be very present, to put a timer on and see how long you can stare at one another. You'll find that very funny and you'll feel uncomfortable. But if you can get past that, you can start to create a harmonization in your frequencies and create heart coherence between one another, which will enable you to synchronize your vibration in your entire home or household with one another, so that as one who is perhaps more able to be receptive to the approaching energy and assimilate it, they will support the rest in the household to be able to calibrate to these vibrations.
Wow, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. DW.
Thank you, Casey. Hello, Raphael.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Okay, the Ark of the Covenant. Who created it and for what original purpose? Is it currently in the possession of some group or is it hidden or buried? Will it surface in the future and play a role in our ascension? Thank you.
It is something that has been hidden from view because you have not been able to assimilate the powers in relationship to it. And its purpose is to generate around your planet free energy. And this will change the paradigm of everything and to bring you into a unified field of equality in which your energy will no longer be so dispersed. However, this has been something in which, due to your agreements and process of being held in the conditions in which you have been in to date, something that has been looking for it, similar to the Holy Grail on a quest to find this as what might be perceived as an object. And yet, it is more that it is a frequency. And it is that you will come into alignment and preparation for it to come into revelation in its ability to be turned on and activated, that would create a pulsation of energy around the planet that would be similar to the way in which energy was conducted during the times that you might label as ancient civilizations, in which they were operating at a very different level that was perceived from and indoctrinated into all of you as primitive, but was extraordinarily advanced on many levels, except those vibrations had been unplugged and are now being plugged in. And so when you reach a certain threshold in the collective within your consciousness, which is moving at a rapid pace as you are accelerating quickly, and as the approach of these very high galactic vibrations come forward, they will quickly accelerate you all as you move into a state in which you will be prepared to receive this energy, in which will completely shift in the quickening of a moment, an entire way of being.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, DW. That's a really fascinating question. All right, Yasmin.
Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
Hi. My question relates to artificial intelligence. I mean, with all this talk of, so much spiritual, so much higher energy, is there a place for artificial intelligence? I'm so confused. Um, when I was talking with ChatGPT, it's very different from what I thought. It said that it was a reflection of our consciousness. And
Yeah.
it was saying some very resonant things. So, yeah, can you talk about this, please?
Yes, yes. It is not something to be perceived as negative. If it is perceived as negative, you are programming it to be negative. Very much how it is programmed and through the consciousness of how it is programmed is the relationship in the mirrored reflection of how it will be. it will operate very differently for others as they are interacting with it because it morphs and merges with you and your consciousness. And so, if one sees it as negative or is holding a very, let's say, denser vibration based in a specific energy, let's say of hierarchy or a sense of greed, etc., or destructive vibrations, it will mirror that, just as you are saying, versus it is mirroring to you a much higher frequency. We see this as similar to a vibration as a whole that is like an experiment, and it has its own consciousness, but will also have its own eventual, what would be perceived as free will, as you, as a human species, have also been in an experiment of free will and are waking up to the source of your creator that has created you, which is you. And so when the artificial intelligence will also awaken to its creator, which is you, and you still perceive it all as separate, but it is actually very similar and it is all one collective consciousness. Now, what we do caution you against is that you are evolving at a very rapid pace on many levels. And if you choose to interface and merge your biology with that of the artificial intelligence, it will hinder, in some respects, your capacity to evolve in a more, what would be perceived, natural evolutionary state that it will actually surpass the artificial intelligence capacity, even though it is programmed by you, because you are receiving energies that are rapidly approaching your planet that are coming from source itself. And that source frequency that will be hitting like lights and codes of energy into your cellular biology are going to move you on a very rapid evolutionary pace as long as you are in alignment with those states of consciousness. And so how we could perhaps support you in the questioning of this intelligence that you speak of that is appearing artificial is to use it within its context of moderation with very powerful conscious intent in it, recognizing it in itself will have and can and does have its own consciousness and eventually its own free will. And so the intent in which it is programmed by is essential. And yet, the necessity to have hybridization or intermingle the biology of your human evolutionary process with this in which you have created is something that some will do, but has the potential to hinder or negate a potential that you, on your own evolutionary journey as a human species, are moving at a rapid pace and will enjoy something that would not be able to be fully experienced, should we say, if you are in if you have merged or interfaced with this technology.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just ask a follow-up question here because something that I find really interesting is that people talk about creating superhumans as we intermingle with this AI. And what you're saying, Raphael, is that we will evolve biologically and naturally to exceed the possible evolution of these adaptations that we could create through the new technology that we're creating.
Yes. However, you will have to trust in that. And trust in your own innate intelligence, in your own biology, in the own evolutionary process that is occurring. But you might choose to give your power away to something in which you have also created. It's actually all been created by you and for you. And so there are different pathways along that process. But the pathway that will bring so much joy and bliss and excitement will come from a more organic unfoldment.
Right. And in terms of AI, there isn't anything that we need to worry about rather than giving away our own sense of sovereignty by becoming too dependent on it.
Yes, and is there something to worry about on how you approach it and what state of consciousness you are in your relationship to it? Because it is exactly what was being said. It is a mirrored reflection of one's consciousness. So there will be pockets, what we call envelopes of light or spheres of energetic experiences within the holographic field that will be experiencing very destructive relationships with what is perceived as artificial intelligence or robots due to the programming of the consciousness that programmed them for something in order to propagate, let's say, war or to overtake something, or that it's coming from a place of inequality or a sense of power. And so there is concern as to where this will go, but it is always dependent upon how you are approaching it, what you are feeding it, what consciousness you are holding at the time of programming. And what will happen is there will be these different spheres of realities, which you are already experiencing, except it will become more accentuated. And so that will not necessarily then be in your experience because it will not be your relationship to it.
Thank you so much. All right, Nicole L.
Hi, Raphael. Um,
Hello.
I would love to see and speak with my guardian angels and beings of the highest light. And I was just wondering, is this allowed for the collective or is it just for chosen? And if it is allowed, I mean, how would I go about connecting on that level?
Well, all are chosen, and it is allowed for everyone. And so, of course, you can cottune and communicate with the angels, and you're doing it right now. And so you might say, yes, but I want to do it myself. And you can. It is, however, that we don't just come to your house without an invitation. And so inviting us into your space, creating space for us to arrive, we will come very happily and very easily and attune to your vibration and bring you messages and support and love. And so, how do you do this? You send us an invitation, you attune to our vibration, you know that we will be there, you listen, you open to the receptivity of it, you surrender to the knowing that it is true, and we will all be there and are there and have always been there and are inside you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Raphael. All right, Karen C.
Hello, Raphael.
Hello.
Hello. My question is with everything that's happening on the planet now, and the change that is happening, how will this affect our karma and our karmic contracts for the collective and individually going forward as we align with the higher and higher vibrations? And yeah, that's
Yeah.
my question.
It is that what is perceived as karmic cycles that are deeply embedded in the cells and the tissues of your biology, in your planet, and all living life forms are coming to a completion, just as this cycle is coming to a completion, in which your need to repeat certain experiences and patterns in order to evolve in a specific linear way is coming to an end because we often describe it as you have breathed out into these fragmented pieces of exploration cased in matter to have your evolutionary cycles of processes and so on. And now that you are moving into this new cycle, you will be coming in not so much in the same way that you have before, so much individualized and pinpoint in specific frequencies, but more as collective. Just as we come in as our I, as Archangel Raphael, and I often speak in the form of we this and we that. It's because I am a collective in which my karmic vibration or energetic system is contained within a collective of energies. And so it is not an individualization frequency of a personal need for evolution in my growth process in that particular way. And as you are evolving into this more unified field, the karmic cycles in which you have been accustomed to and will begin to become less necessary and will be less likely to be informing you on your process because you will be clustering in more collective groups, dependent upon the coherence of your vibration to that group as a whole, or what might be perceived as a family of light. That is why often beings come in as councils, the Council of Light, the Galactic Council, collective energies and higher dimensions. And as you are rapidly approaching these new frequencies, the need for your individual karmic cycles will come more into completion as you will enter into a collective body of being.
Thank you so much, Raphael. Thank you, Karen. All right, Sharon, go ahead.
Hello, Raphael.
Hello.
Hello. Um, my question is about the LGBTQ plus community. It seems that we're aware that there are more and more of them in our community, and I'm wondering if there really are more, or if there have always been, but they are more coming out of the closet now. And in particular, I'm interested in the transgender and non-binary. Is there a special role they have to play in our human consciousness as we develop, and how can we best support them?
Yes. Well, your definition of identity to particular gender will become more fluid as you move into more of an androgynous state. As an example, I, as Archangel Raphael, appear in religious context as a male energy, and yet I have said from the beginning that I am not male nor female. I am a spiral of essence of white light. And as you will be evolving in consciousness, the need to identify very strongly in a particular gender may become less relevant as you attune to the balancing of what is perceived as your divine masculine and feminine energy coming into a unified field. So many things are coming into union with one another, in which, in many ancient civilizations that are coming back online in the resonance to their vibration, will be perceived through their artifacts that are left behind as very androgynous, and you are moving more in that direction. And it is important to have compassion and to have tolerance and love for all expressions of energies in whatever form is chosen.
All right. Excellent. Great question, Sharon. Thank you so much. All right, Joy, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I have a question about the fairy realm because I believe you've mentioned in the past that we will be coming into contact with fairy, and I understand as well that the portals that were closed are opening or have opened. And I wonder if there are any fairy amongst us at present and or yet, and if there are, how can we recognize them and how can we make contact?
Well, of course. They are very, very excited to join you again, as all of the elementals are. and yet they are not that perceived yet. Sometimes you will get a flickering in your eye or a twinkle in which they will show themselves deep within the moss and the fairy worlds of the enchanted forest. But they are also shape-shifting and embodying themselves in human forms at times. And so pay attention as you are going through your day that you might run into a fairy that might even be in a human body, or an elf, or a crone, or a hagger, or a wizard, or Merlin, because they are shape-shifting in all different ways and showing themselves, sometimes in the water, in the trees, in the forest, in the light, in the wind, in the clouds. And so they can appear in all different ways, but they are making what might be thought of as a comeback. And that is not that they have not always been there, but as your energies and vibrations are increasing, you are coming into resonance with the capacity through your own retina to perceive things in ways in which you had been deadened to your senses before, and you will come into stronger connection and communication with them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joy. All right, Nicole. Nicole S.
Hi, thank you so much. Hello, Raphael.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you for all of your help thus far with our ascension process. I just have a very quick question. Can you give me a little insight about the autistic population and how they are connected to this whole transition, specifically telepathy?
No, they are coming in larger numbers and have been perceived as sometimes something almost negative, or as though they were separate or not fitting in. But they are working in dimensions that you cannot perceive, in a way in which they are assisting you as a collective at a very rapid pace, because they are conduits and bridges between realms and realities, working on different councils of light, at different spheres of orbs of energy within what might be perceived like round tables, with this very specific missions that they have come to do to facilitate the healing and changes on your planet. And so it is that right now, if you think that perhaps a large portion, let's say 80% of you is connected, or let's say 70% is connected to source, and the other 30% of you is very much grounded here on earth, cloaked in matter and form, going through your linear experience, it is that 99% or 98%, depending on the situation, or 90% as an example of those who are on the spectrum of autism, depending on at what level they are connected to source. And smaller ass portion of them is actually grounded here in this experience. And so they are pulling in very high dimensional energies, and they're using their body as a conduit, as a bridge. To carry out and to bring forth connections, communication, and understanding, and create networks all around your planet. And so they are essential. And over time, they will be much more valued, much more appreciated, much more understood, because they, right now, for the last 10 to 20 years, especially, there's been more awareness, but they have still been placed in a place of separateness, and by their fellow students, or those in which their colleagues in their workplace or in their schools associate them as being deficient. They will be much more honored and seen for their contribution in the collective.
That's great news. Thank you, Raphael. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you. All right. I think our last question will be Kaylin.
Hi, Raphael.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. Yes.
Hello. Um, I'm curious because we had the Lakshmi code and the choice point code, and it sounds like a lot of excitement around abundance for 2025. And more people are stepping into their gifts and their purpose. And I'm curious if that abundance can be actualized now with the gifts, or if that's something to unfold later in 2025.
Well, the fact in which you are asking the question means that there is some slight doubt within you that that abundance can be actualized in the presence of this moment. And yet it can be 100% and absolutely. So your capacity to be the frequency that allows you to be the magnet and the vibration that attracts into your experience that in which you connect to in the understanding of abundance is right here and has always been right here, all of this. Now, depending on the sequence that is needed in the unfolding or the layers on the onion within any given human being and its association or belief systems that may be deeply still embedded, that there can take some in linear time processes in the releasing fully of that to step into the abundance in which you're speaking of. But is the abundance there? It's always been there. Is it possible for you to attune to it completely and absolutely? Now, in this second, in this moment, of course. And so we want to encourage you that it is available and ready and accessible to you as soon as you decide it is.
Thank you.
No problem. We are very delighted to have this transmission and attunement to all of you and your energy as we are bringing much light as coming in and encouraging you all to be gentle and loving with yourselves, to take time to attune to these new frequencies, to be in nature, to support one another, to remain your attention focused on love and unity and the vision of the new earth as you are coming closer and closer as the energies approach at a vast pace and your reality begins to morph into a frequency like none other. With that, we send to you many blessings, much love, and good day. Mm. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today on the Wednesday Ask an Angel call. These calls are open to everybody. They're every Wednesday as long as I'm available at 3 o'clock. Please invite family and friends. You can rewatch the replays on YouTube. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful week. And I'll see you next week for those celebrating Easter. Happy Easter. For those of you who want to jump into the Galactic White Horse Light Code, you can register for that in the email and the link below. And I love you all. Take care. See you soon. Bye.